Welcome back to another episode of Clothing Brief. Of course, this is where we bring you the latest and greatest, and sometimes not so greatest, news that's happening in our industry with some of our insights.
And we're bringing it a day later. We had some technical issues yesterday, tried to launch early before a really great download on a fashion forecast with Sharon Grobard.
SG Files, her fall winter 26 trends. It was marvelous. If you are interested in trends and really getting access to a wonderfully distilled version of that, my goodness, you've got to sign up for those workshops.
Super affordable, and she is brilliant at it.
Absolutely amazing. So let's roll through our topics. We are starting today with a little bit of news on the advertising front. After a couple of months ago, or not months, sometimes it feels like months. It was just a couple weeks ago, right? We shared a story of a denim campaign that had fell under fire, and now we've got another denim campaign by an American legacy that is doing it right. We're talking Katseye and Cap.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's the reverse campaign, if you will, celebrating international, breaking boundaries, including diversity. Cultural, national, was well received. Katseye is a 6-member group that hails from Philippines, South Korea, Switzerland, and the U.S. Really was this kind of collaboration between Haibu in Korea and Geffen Group in the U.S., kind of launched in 2021 to do this whole, international kind of group to focus on launching them in the U.S. They kind of officially launched in 2023. It was really an amazing campaign, lots of optimism, and that's a lot of what's needed today.
It was.
What's going on.
It was a very powerful counter narrative honoring diversity and unity. So, and a little nostalgia with bringing the Y2K song Milkshake back. So
yeah, for sure.
Definitely a lot of fun. Moving on, let's talk a little Topshop. Topshop has been among conversations right now. Once a leader in fashion for youth, fell into a little struggle amid the rise of fast fashion with brands like Shein and Temu. They're trying to shake things up.
Yeah, there was, they've really been this kind of iconic English brand that's kind of made its way into the US. And there's some conversation about them looking just a little too nostalgic, not keeping up with the trend. Although, interestingly enough, over the last in June, they were up 480% over the last 3 months. So
and what are they attributing that increase to?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think, when they're really going out, they're really trying to do this relaunch. I think a lot of that they're trying to do is push the more current generation style and things like that.
A big focus on new ad campaigns as
well,
right?
Yeah.
So yeah. We have a fashion brand from France creating a flagship on Madison Avenue in New York. We are benefiting from a couple French companies right now, setting up their retail game in New York City. I'm so excited. We were a couple of months ago, I had the opportunity to visit the Printemps in the downtown district. And now a French cashmere brand, Coucheton, has entered the U.S. market.
Yeah, great product. A lot of nice, wonderful luxury space, cashmere silks, all cashmere. Definitely something to go chase.
Yeah, they did something smart, kind of a precursor to partnership and or finding themselves in the United States. Last year, they did a collaboration with a tattoo artist in LA, Dr. Wu, and that really built some familiarity and excitement around the brand. So it'll be nice to check that out next time we're in the big city.
Yeah, and they're opening on the Upper East Side of Manhattan. So we've got Printemps on the very, very south side, Wall Street district, and then Upper East Side with Coucheton. So go check it out.
A retailer that we have long respected, Dillard's, has just done something quite bold. They've partnered with Trademark to own their own
Mall.
That's right.
Yeah, Longview Mall in Texas. It's gone through a lot of challenges. Most malls are. Dillard's certainly is an anchor, and Dillard's is creating this very strategic safeguard against what they consider, bad actor investors. They're, not really taking care of this direct to consumer experience. There's been, brick and mortar has been under siege. There's been a lot of conversation about creating experiential retail to help keep brick and mortar alive. There's certainly a lot of contraction that's going on in brick and mortar. And so in this case, Dillard's, armed with over $1 billion in cash, is walking in and going to create their own destiny, at least starting at Longview Mall.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Dillard's has always kind of played by their own rules. When COVID happened, rather than retracting investment on clothing, they leaned in and went deeper, believing that the consumers still wanted an opportunity to shop and buy new product, and they were right. It served them well. They
Stock was way up. Lots of success. Dillard's has always bucked the trend. They're one of the most profitable and more stable retailers out there. As Nordstrom's is contracting, we're seeing a loss of one of the stores here in St. Louis. That's happening kind of all over the nation, probably from their standpoint strategically contracting. Dillard's is picking up, I think, with the contraction of other groups. They're picking up steam because they're committed to this direct to consumer and brick and mortar.
That's right. So today we're going to end our conversation on the T conversation, tariffs. So here we are. We're on the cusp of the 29th. The U.S. tariff exemption ends. And then, of course, also on the 29th, we've got de minimis going away. So everybody buckle down, get ready to pay a little bit more. We've got 1.3 billion small value packages coming in annually. So how that's going to be right.
I think it's going to be a massive shift. There's a lot of conversation with post office, foreign post offices that aren't going to deliver to the U.S. until something gets sorted out. They're concerned about, the lack of the U.S. Post Office to manage these packages now that will fall under both duties and tariffs. It's certainly going to raise costs for the U.S. consumer. De minimis has had, it's kind of a two-sided coin, honestly. Certainly de minimis has been used effectively by foreign companies to transcend the taxation that the U.S. government has in terms of duties, and now additional taxation to the customer, the U.S. consumer, and tariffs. And with de minimis going away, a lot of these companies have to really rethink their strategy. And so I think it does help the U.S. Importers and the U.S. companies with the removal of de minimis, because as larger importers have to cover those duties and tariffs, those additional taxes to pay the U.S. government, de minimis, people that have utilized de minimis in mass volume for small packages have been able to skirt that. There are a lot of e-commerce operations that are looking to FTZs, which are foreign trade zones. Basically, you create sort of a safe haven where goods coming into the United States go into the FTZs, and then they don't have to pay duties and tariffs until they're actually sold. So it doesn't eliminate duties and tariffs, but it does push them off to the point of sale. So there's not a lot of upfront costs and taxation. And then who knows when they will sell. So I think it's an effective way to defer taxation that's happening now as it's getting very expensive, but it's not going to be the same as de minimis where they eliminate, they manage to skirt it.
So where are some of these FTZs?
They're located all over the United States. Larger companies can work to create their own FTCs, but certainly all the major port areas and I have FTCs, and I think they're going to continue to grow because as people realize that the de minimis thing is gone, deferment is still an effective tool for cash flow strategy. So I think those things are going to be on the rise.
Well, those are our highlights today. We've rolled out episode this week on our longer format Clothing Culture podcast. This is we re-examine a conversation that we had in our very first season on responsible sourcing in turbulent times. And this episode was recorded during COVID times, certainly turbulent, but this industry, let's face it, is always struggling with something of challenge. So a lot of the information that we shared then is very relevant today, and on the heels of tariffs and the disruption it is causing our industry, we thought this would be a good time to re-roll that episode out. So don't forget to subscribe to stay apprised of upcoming conversations and check that episode out. We'll see you actually in 2 weeks. Next week, we'll be rolling out a slideshow for the latest news. The week we are traveling, visiting customers next week. So we will be back here in 2 weeks, Tuesday at noon, Central Time.